Alright guys, so for today's video we've got the classic Doflamingo versus Kine'mon, the blue versus green, the bane of blue's existence. So blue's a deck that I've been practicing with just a little bit. I think that Flamingo is a lot more fun and interactive than just kind of playing Whitebeard. So for today's video I decided to test with my buddy Diego. He plays a ton of green, has done really well at the online regionals as well as the in-person events, so definitely someone that could be a good playtest for it. At the end of the day, let's see if Flamingo is able to beat green with the new tools that it got in OPO2. New tools Pog. So this is a version that I was testing where I was playing a really large Sentomaru package. I think that Sentomaru is a very underplayed card for just exactly how good it is. I know that it has like some sort of anti-synergies with Flamingo, but it basically, for what it does, it summons a 6k from the deck for 3 cost, which is like if Flamingo were to summon a Gecko Moria vanilla off the top, it just summons it in an unrested position. It also works as a resetter for the top of my deck if it's something that I so choose to do. So I opened with Perona, didn't see anything good, so I went ahead and bottom decked, and then I'm going to go use the Flamingo blocker to look at the top of my deck once again, see if I want to keep this. Now if the I do know that Diego's deck has the 8-drop kit, and that's why I'm playing this way. I know that that's a card that he is stacking into his deck, and the only way that Flamingo can really beat the 8-drop kit is by seeing a ton of Mihawks or like some sort of tempo, like Flamingo 7-drop into Mihawk 9-drop, and being able to play off of that manner. But I didn't want to go ahead and like delay my turns even heftier, and I don't think I have another stacker in my hand. So because of that, I don't opt to go bottom deck here, but I don't think I saw a Mihawk or a Flamingo in this scenario. So he goes and attacks for 5. I take this hit once again, just looking for those key pieces, but still no luck. I do see a Sentomaru in the top of my deck, so that's something that I can go ahead and plan for in the next couple of turns, and hopefully it kind of bails me out. So he goes ahead and plays the Bonnie. He whiffs on the Bonnie, and this is kind of exactly what we need. Plays the Okiku, and then passes it right back to me. So I'm here at 5 Dawn, which would allow me to do Flamingo effect for 3, and then have 2 up for like a spotter or something. And my hand has a bunch of like very solid warlords, but I'm still slow to deploy them at this point in time. And the fact that Okiku's on the board makes it so that it's very easy to handle my board on the following turn. So before I start anything, I go Perona at the Bonnie. Now this is give me a 2k or let the Bonnie go. He opts to let the Bonnie go because I still have a bunch more attacks, and you know, theoretically, I could still attack with my Flamingo 3-drop, because if Okiku's going to rest it, might as well allow it to rest it. I still have 1 Dawn available, and I'm thinking of swinging with the Flamingo, but I opt not to, just to like pretend like I have a Desert Spada and a bonus 2k that doesn't really exist in my deck. Now he can go ahead and swing at the Perona with the Okiku if he so chooses to, and then rest something else, but he opts to go face, I believe. I take the card in hand, and then he goes 5 at face, so he's being very aggressive, and then he X-Trakes my blocker here. So I have to use my turn to kind of clear this Okiku, but the Veggie's going to make it a little bit awkward. I have been swinging at face pretty consistently, so I do go 5 at Okiku. I think I also go 5 at Okiku, you know, just get a card, or get a block here, and then I go Flamingo, or I go Gecko Moria, summon back the Flamingo blocker just to dig deeper. I finally see a Flamingo 7-drop, which I believe I do stack to the top of my deck, as that's a card that's gonna have to come down very soon. But again, the rest of the cards are kind of not great, so I go ahead and actually choose. I was gonna bottom deck, but I'm like, nah, I actually can't bottom deck. I have to keep it, and I pass it right back. But yeah, certainly it's tough if you don't see those Mihawks. Like imagine on this turn I swung at the Okiku, Flamingoed. And then on the following turn, he has to do something. He still has 2 characters, so he can't activate Kine'mon's ability, and then I go Mihawk. And then he's in a much more difficult position, as opposed to here, where he has like a lot of space, a lot of reprieve. So I haven't seen the 8-drop come down just yet, and he's kind of just not seeing what he needs. And this is exactly what I need, but I'm also kind of not seeing what I need, which is unfortunate. So he goes ahead and swings 6 at my lead. I'm asking exactly where he's attacking. And I do take it again. I finally get a 7-drop in hand, but since I already stacked a 7-drop, now they're going to start to flood my hand just a little bit. And that's another card that I've been testing around. You know, Flamingo was a really, really strong card back in the day, but it's really fallen out of favor due to the fact that, you know, it just doesn't have the combo power that it needs. And Flamingo is a deck that needs to consistently keep hand advantage so that it can theoretically board. So I'm going all the way down to 1 life, which is terrifying versus Kine'mon. Because if they ever slap down an Odin, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. The good thing about Kine'mon, though, is that it does... I mean, not Kine'mon. About Flamingo is that it does have just a ton of blockers. So by the fact that I just have, you know, a way to spam them, I should be in an okay spot from there. So I am at 9 Dawn here, and I have to find a way to deal with this board. So Perona, once again, going to go ahead and clear his searchers. His hand is kind of limited at this time, so I'm going to just take it slow. I don't want to invest much Dawn into the Jinbei. Jinbei's actually been doing a good job at just pressuring the entire time. And I'm going to have to go ahead and, you know, put some Dawn under my characters. I'm going to go ahead and leave 1 up. Because I just have to Flamingo here no matter what. I have to 7 Dawn, Flamingo him, and then I'm going to go 6. I'll go 6 again, give me another 2K, or give me a Veggie. I think he finally opts to give me a Veggie. He's at 2 cards in hand. And I'm going to go ahead and tap 6 here, I believe, for the Centamru. And then I decide, no, I can't do that. I had to set up for the Flamingo. If I had a Desert Spada, there was something to be said about going Centamru, activate effect, summon a Pacifista blocker, keep 1 up for the Desert Spada. But this is just a little bit better. So I'm going to have to use my hand advantage to go ahead and pop off this game. So hopefully he doesn't see a big drop soon, very soon, and I should be okay. And just deciding Dawn allocation, he goes 7 at my lead. And I do have a lot of cards in hand, and finally have to start, you know, using them. So I'll use a 2K here, and then what 1K with this 2K? Perona. Yeah, Perona can be bought back by Gecko Moria, funnily enough, if I do Gecko it back, or... But the fact that I do have the 3-drop Flamingo makes it like that card would be the card of choice. And I am just full of just 2K counters in hand. I just also have, funnily enough, pretty solid 1Ks, which is the Centamru, as well as the Boa blocker and the Kuma blocker, which are cards that I want to hold off for later, because I am going to need to block. Still has 6 Dawn available to him, which, and I'm saying it out loud here, but I'm like, man, it would be really, really scary, because I know he has an Okiku in hand, but it'd be terrifying if he plays double Okiku next turn. So even if I do defend this, I have to try and defend a double Okiku turn. And then he still has the 2 cards in hand, which are probably going to be combo power. I just have to hope that they're 1Ks as opposed to 2Ks. You know, 8K is pretty strong here, as that's going to go ahead and bait out 2Ks. And I do opt to give it to him, and then he does play the double Okiku, which, yep. Oh boy. And even though he hasn't played Odin this game, really hasn't seen the 8-drop kid, he's been very, very aggressive, playing his hand the way that he really should. So that's very solid. Now that Flamingo, that bonus Flamingo is going to be a little bit dead in my hand. And I have to think about how I push here, but it's going to be tough. At the end of the day, I'm going to need my 6 Dawn probably to go ahead and summon a Pacifista from the deck. And then this is now kind of interesting, right? So he goes ahead and takes this 7 on the X-Drake. I go 5 at lead. He doesn't take the 5, but if I had a teach or a way to, you know, put a teach at the top of my deck, there may be an opportunity for lethal, but that's kind of cope. So I do have to summon a couple blockers here, and I think the best way to do it is just swing 5 lead, swing 5 lead, see what he does with that, and then just go Centamru plus Bartholomew Kuma, which will be double blocker, and then hopefully double blocker is able to take it away from there. Even though it may not be as easy because of the Okikus, like one Okiku will swing, I may be able to combo out of it, and then on the second Okiku swing, I'll go ahead and block, potentially. And that's what I'm deciding right now. Or I can go Boa Hancock plus Kuma, and then equally just keep up 2 blockers that way and keep up 2 Dawn, maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I should do here. I haven't seen a Love Beam, so my best way to get out of this game is by going ahead and seeing a Love Beam in life. And I think I do opt to play for it. I'm just joking here, put all my Dawn on Perona. Perona, go! But yeah, that's definitely not going to go through, especially with this Veggie, so I'm just going to go ahead and tap 8 Dawn here and summon double blocker, and just pray that that's enough. But with double Okiku, funnily enough, it does counter this sort of play very, very heavily. Like if it was an Odin on this board for 8 Dawn as opposed to like double Okiku, I could just chum block him unless he has like a Yamato or something. But I even say it at this point in time, though, the card that's really going to house me is Yamato. If he's able to stick a Yamato right here, I lose the game automatically. Because he'll go ahead and pay 4 Dawn, put 2 Dawn on Okiku, and then just go and tap both of my blockers, and then yeah, the Yamato. And that's what I was afraid of by giving him those extra 3 cards. I did give him the opportunity to get to a Yamato. He hadn't played a Yamato thus far, so it is what it is. So he'll go 6 at my lead. I can't even combo out of the 6, and then he has to decide what he wants to do here. Since I kept 2 up for the Love Beam, he's in a really tough bind. He's paid a total of 5 Dawn already. He has 5 Dawn available to him, and I have 3 cards in hand. And I theoretically stacked at the top of my deck. So he thinks I may have a Love Beam, and I do think that if I had a Love Beam, there wouldn't be a way to find the lethal here, right? So let's say you put 2 Dawn under the Okiku, swing for 7, and then I just Love Beam out of that, and then add a 2k to my hand. So then you're swinging for 8, and I have 2 2ks, and I'm out of there. Or if you swing for 9, then I Love Beam plus a 1k, and then I just easily combo out of the leader ability. But he's unaware that my hand really sucks. So at this point, I'm really trying to bluff body language the fact that I have the Love Beam. I'm sitting there big chilling, but my hand is terrible. My hand is like 3 bricks. He swings 5, and then once he swings the 5, I'm like, ooh, no. Yeah, he's kind of scared. I just have 3 cards in hand, but with Love Beam, I could go to 4 theoretically and stop an attack. So at the end of the day, if I do have it, he loses. So I think he just has to go for it in the best way he can. With 3 cards in hand, swinging 7 and then 8 seems like the right choice. Or 7/7, a 1-drop blocker would also be fine if he's able to play that. But he can't defend my next turn. There's no feasible way. I have too many 7k attacks with the very few cards that he has in hand. He goes 5 at the Boa, and I'm asking him is he okay with that? And then we're like all discussing the 5k at the Boa is basically the same as going 5 at lead, right? Because I would defend the Boa if I could, and then he'll just, you know, I'm not going to defend her because I really can't. I can't afford to. The only way I can win this game is if, again, he only puts like 1 Dawn on a Kiku or something and like decides to keep up 2 for a Punk Gibson or something. And even with Punk Gibson, he can't live next turn. So I'm trying to bait him into like playing a turn that is super suboptimal, and it's kind of working so far. But yeah, I mean, if I had the Love Beam, he loses here, but I definitely do not. But I think he goes and attaches maybe 2 Dawn. His idea is put 2 Dawn on the Okiku, swing for 7, play a 1-drop, and then keep up 2 for a Gibson. Is what I would think he's trying to like think right here. But the thing is, a 7k attack just goes through. So even if I could out combo it, he would still lose with the double blocker from Gibson, in my opinion. Yeah. So let's see how because he does have a lot of cards in him. He's kind of within the belief that with those cards he's able to out combo my turn. But that's just a fallacy. And this is kind of what you can do in your games. You can hope that you can try to create scenarios where your opponent misplays. You'll swing for 7, and then I just look at my hand, and yep, nope. And that's going to be it for the game. Fortunately, I hope you guys like this sort of gameplay. I know at the end was a little bit troll, but this was a very different style of Flamingo versus Kine'mon. He didn't see the Odin, didn't see the top, the 8-drop, which makes this game a little bit more trivial. Granted, I didn't see my Flamingo into my 9-drop as well, so it was kind of like a slugfest. But he was able to come out on top thanks to just the power of Okiku and Yamatos and just how absolutely powerful those cards are at dealing with blocker-heavy boards. At the end of the day, I think Flamingo is a really strong deck, but it does have, some kryptonite that exists in the meta. And I know that my list is a little bizarre because of the Centaurus and things like that make it just a little bit more suboptimal. But I do think that the deck definitely has some merit, and I just wanted to showcase this gameplay to you guys. If you like this sort of video, please go ahead and leave a like down below. And if you have any questions or something you want to go ahead and address in the comment section, go ahead and leave a comment. I am pretty active in the comment section. We can discuss what your thoughts are on Flamingo. This was just an experimental version of the deck. I'm pretty sure that the Centaur package, unfortunately, does not fit in there in my final build, but it's something I really wanted to test out and was excited to play. And as always, guys, if you are enjoying this type of content and would like to continue seeing more, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.